Hello everyone, how are you all doing on this Monday night? Alright, let's cut straight to it. It is officially day 2 of E3. I know technically it's day 2 because yesterday Bethesda did their whole showing and they showed off Fallout 4. But today was really the first big day of E3 because their press conference started later yesterday. E3 has been going on all day today, and there's a lot to talk about. I'm sure there's lots of news and press, but I'm going to tell you guys about what I was really interested in, what I was really hyped about and excited about what they showed. So I'll cut straight to it. Starting with Halo 5, we've got not only an online multiplayer trailer with gameplay, we've kind of already seen that before, but we actually got a single player gameplay. Finally showed Mr. Spartan Locke and his team of Spartans. If you already don't know, Locke is kind of an Oni agent. If you don't know what that is, it's like Halo CIA, basically, Office of Naval Intelligence. Anyway, so he's like a secret agent. He premiered in Halo Nightfall, which I wasn't a fan of. But anyway, and so now he's chasing the Master Chief, who's gone AWOL. This is the whole backstory of what's going on. You should look up this thing called Hunt the Truth. Kind of gives you a little more into it. Basically, him and a team of Spartans are hunting down the Master Chief. Which isn't very popular, because obviously Master Chief is still like a war hero, but something's gone wrong with the Chief, and they're going after him. He's kind of a fugitive now. And the gameplay trailer shows them going to one of the last remaining Covenant strongholds, and they're going there to find him, because apparently he went there hunting some kind of Forerunner Guardian. The level itself is pretty cool. It's kind of like this Forerunner world that's in the middle of a giant battle because the Arbiter and his forces are there to wreck shit. And you've got you got grunts and elites you're fighting, and then you've got Prometheans. If you're Halo 4. If you know, I mean, if you haven't played Halo 4, you're gonna be pretty confused. So there's 10 Prometheans, and then at the end we get introduced to a new Forerunner bad guy, Promethean dude. And he's crazy. So the whole thing is exciting. It's just one. But I think the big thing that we're trying to show off is that you have a co-op team of 4 players. Again, kind of like Halo 3. So this time it's Locke and his Spartans. And if you already didn't know, and I'm not sure if they'll show gameplay of this, but Master Chief is going to have his own team of Spartans, the famous blue team. If you ever read like Fall of Reach, that old book. Basically these are Spartan 2s. That existed at the same time as the Master Chief, but the Master Chief obviously went and did his own thing on the Halos. These guys went and did their own thing too, and now they're back together, the good old team. So when you're playing as the Chief, you'll be playing with Blue Team. When you're playing as Locke, you'll be playing with his Spartans. Not sure how much of the game. I've heard some rumors that it's split 50-50. I've heard another rumor that Locke is actually the main protagonist, and you play Master Chief some part of the game. So not exactly sure. We'll see in October. So, but gameplay looks really fun. It definitely very cinematic, very epic kind of level. Lots going on. I'm sure some people will probably feel like this isn't really Halo or whatever. It's not like the older games, and it's definitely different. I think it's because this game, for one, was made for next gen, or current gen. Sorry, still used to calling it next gen. It was made for Xbox One and trying to really push graphics and things you could do, stuff that just Bungie couldn't technically do like years ago. So it's gonna be different. I mean, there were already people that were pretty upset with Halo 4, so I think they'll probably say the same stuff about Halo 5. So, but I'm excited for it. It looks pretty good, and I'm excited this upcoming October. Okay, now on to Star Wars. Visceral Games has not yet shown something for their game yet, as of this moment that I know of, but they could at the end of this whole thing. E3 goes on for a couple days, so, and then there's always some kind of trailer that they put off at the end, so we could see something, a sneak peek of their game. But Battlefront, I mean, we expected it. We got to see gameplay footage of the Hoth sequence, which, I gotta say, the Rebels in this gameplay footage did a lot better holding on than in the movie. Like, I feel like in the movie they just kind of gave up after a while and they ran off. This one, they fought to the end. And it looked pretty cool. Very modern, very kind of inspired by Battlefield and kind of the way. Though I gotta admit, blasters feel very OP. Like, you could take on ATSTs with a blaster. Like, the main guy was just running. I'm not sure if that was because that's the only gun they really have worked out yet or something, but the guy was just running around with a blaster and taking out everything. So I'm beginning to feel it's a bit too OP, honestly, because I was like, that's kind of messed up that he could just take out walkers with that little gun, and he was just taking people out. Still though, it looked fun, and you get vehicles. You get TIE fighters, X-Wings, obviously the snow speeder, which was funny because, you know, if you see the movie, I think there is like an X-Wing. There's Luke's X-Wing, obviously, but there were never TIE fighters. But whatever, it's a video game. They can throw in whatever they want. So yeah, it looks fun. I still don't know about pre-ordering it, but it looks fun. Oh, Darth Vader shows up at the end, and then Luke Skywalker shows up in his Return of the Jedi uniform, not his actual Battle of Hoth uniform. And I'm like, isn't he a little cold? Whatever, he's a Jedi. And then, surprise, surprise, actually, later, just a little bit a while ago, E3 put out another much shorter gameplay trailer for Tatooine, showing off the co-op missions, which is, this time it's just you and a buddy, obviously, or you by yourself go on a mission to, you know, achieve some objective. And this one's on Tatooine, as you got to survive and wait for the rebels to rescue while the Empire is basically trying to hunt you down and kill you. And this one, while it seemed really fun, I once again, kind of like two people were able to take on this entire giant Imperial force, which seemed a little silly, and once again the blaster was very OP. So, yeah, not exactly sure yet. I mean, I want to really just try it out myself and play it, because I'm not sure, you know, it could, like I said, I'm not a huge fan of the Battlefield games, haven't been in a long time, so that's my biggest worry, is that it's just going to feel like another Battlefield game. It's going to be like, not for me, I think. That's why I'm looking more forward to Visceral Games' Star Wars game, but we don't have footage of that yet, so we'll have to wait and see on that. So yep, now those are my thoughts on Battlefront, and hopefully I'll have some thoughts if Visceral puts out a trailer. The big one is Gears of War, Gears 4. Literally, they're just calling it that. I was expecting a teaser trailer or something, like, you know, with narration and 4 seconds of footage, and you go, and we got 6 minutes of gameplay footage. I was not ready for that. I was like, what? Now, granted, a lot of it's very sneaky, very like, well, not sneaky, but like teaser-ish and dark, and it's all build up. They're not really fighting anything most of the time. They're just kind of running around, and then they're, you know, the environment's attacking them, you know, so they're trying to take shelter, and there's like a storm. So they're not a lot of fighting until the end, and it doesn't really tell you anything about the story, but everything felt like a Gears of War game. Like, the music was the same. They have the Lancer. Everything, the controls very much look the same. Well, from what I can tell, like the mechanics, you know, how you open doors and how you run around, and the cover mechanics. That looks like it's the same. I'm not exactly sure how it plays, obviously. But it looks like a Gears of War game. And then they said holiday 2016. I was like, crap, that fast. Wow. I was at least expecting like mid-2017. So next year, we're getting another Gears of War game. Now, I've already mentioned in my last video, this is what I was most excited about. And I got 6 minutes of gameplay footage. With this cool, I'm just going to fucking reveal it too. Then it ends, I guess they're hunting some kind of creature. Actually, as they're running around, they find like pods for something growing. Very flood, body snatchers it, and then at the end, these monster things with armor kind of attack them. And they open their mouth and they got like little tentacles coming out. And they're ferocious. And it ends with the main dude being, you know, with this creature on top of it, and it roars and is about to eat him. And it cuts to the titles. So, I mean, you have no idea what they are, what they're doing, and if they're locust or alien or whatever, human, but the whole thing feels like Gears of War. And I think that's what they were trying to get across. So I'm excited. I kind of did wish there was like a trailer to kind of explain the story, but I think we'll just have to wait till, you know, sometime later this year. But still very, very awesome. And then the last game I want to talk about just very briefly, Mass Effect Andromeda. Trailer. This one had an actual trailer. About a 2-minute trailer. Like a teaser, but it still tells you what's going to kind of happen. Now you're going to the Andromeda Galaxy, which, if you didn't know, is an actual galaxy that exists outside, you know, it's right next, it's our closest galaxy. It's about the same size as our Milky Way. And so you're exploring it, and since probably it's not as explored as the Milky Way, there's a lot of worlds to explore. And I think that's what the trailer's kind of giving the impression of. There's these new worlds to explore, new adventures, new things to find. It's a whole new galaxy. And of course here starts the discussion of what about Shepard and the whole storyline. And I think, quite frankly, the Shepard Reaper storyline ended with the first trilogy. I think that's over, that's complete, and they didn't want to continue it, didn't want to drag it on. They were like, that's done, we're starting a new, still Mass Effect, still feels like a Mass Effect game, but it's set in a different galaxy, new characters. I think it's in the future, in the far future, so it's just a whole new storyline with new characters, new settings, new places to explore. Which is cool. I think that's, you know, exciting. New worlds to travel to. So I think we'll all miss Shepard, but I think it'll still be a good game. I'm excited to play. So yeah, that is my thoughts on E3 Day 2, and I'll give you mine for tomorrow, and I'm sure there'll be tons more later on. Yeah, it's kind of a big week for us. So hope you enjoyed this video. Like, subscribe, all that jazz, and stay tuned for more. Bye.